I've started over more times than I can count. I had new habits, new goals, new schedules, new morning routines, new dreams. And every time I thought to myself, yeah, this is it. This is the version of me that finally is going to change. This is where things change and where I'm going to become the person that I want to become. Then a few weeks later pass by, and I'd find myself right back where I started. For the longest time, I thought the problem was that I kept failing, that I kept making mistakes. But the real problem wasn't failure, actually. The real problem was that every time I did fail, I acted like the entire journey was over, like I had somehow erased all that progress that I had made, and have had to start back at zero again. I've always had that all or nothing mentality. If I miss one day at the gym, I tell myself the entire workout is ruined. So I gotta start back again on Monday. If I missed a habit streak, I tell myself I'll start again on Monday. You know, for me, if if my goals weren't perfect, then I'd have to restart again and try to make it perfect. And that's just a bad way to look at it. Again, if I had one bad day, I convinced myself that I'm returning back to my old habits. But recently, I realized something. Just because you fall off the path doesn't mean you're back at the beginning. All that progress you made, it doesn't just disappear. You don't lose the lessons you've learned, you don't lose the experience you've gained, you don't lose the person you've become along the way. All of that is something that accumulates on itself that you don't realize. Whenever I did fail and I did restart, I noticed that it got easier. But it's still a waste of time because if I say I don't go to the gym on Wednesday, that means I don't go on the gym on Thursday, I don't go to the gym on Friday, and I wait all the way till Monday to restart again. So that's like 3 days of progress just gone, all because of that all or nothing mentality. And you don't lose the person you've become along the way, like I said. The only thing you really lose is momentum. And here's the thing about it, momentum can always be rebuilt. Now, realizing this didn't magically fix everything. I still fall off, I still mess up, I still have days where I just don't feel like doing anything, demotivated. I have days where I don't want to go to the gym. And I also still catch myself thinking, I already messed up. There's no point, so I'll just wait till next week and start over. But later on, I found something that helped me break out of that cycle. Instead of focusing on never failing, I instead started focusing on how I can recover faster. That's really it. It's that simple. It's not about being perfect or staying motivated 24/7. It's all about recovering fast. It should be a goal for you that you shouldn't miss more than 2 days in a row. If I miss one workout, I try to make sure that I go to the gym the next day. If I had a bad day, I try my best to make the next day a better day. If I fall behind on a goal, I'm not going to waste time feeling guilty about it and trying to wait till next week. I just get back to work because every extra day I spend feeling sorry for myself is another day I'm choosing to stay stuck. The people who achieve their goals, they're not always the most disciplined people. They're not always the smartest. They're not always the most talented. They're just people who get back up every time that they fail. While everyone else is busy restarting, they're already moving on to the next thing. And I think the reason why so many of us struggle with this is because we confuse one little mistake we make with complete failure. We think that if we miss one day at the gym, then that means that we weren't consistent with it and that we have to start again on Monday. We think that having a bad day of not being productive means that you're not building towards the life that you want and that you have to, again, restart on Monday. We think that one setback, one small setback, is something that brings us back to square one. But that's just not true at all. One workout doesn't make you fit. Same with missing one workout won't make you out of shape. One productive day won't change your life, but same with missing one day won't ruin it either. The thing I'm trying to get at is what's going to happen is what you put your focus on. The more you become productive, the more you go to the gym, the more likely you're going to achieve the goals that you've actually set out to yourself. Looking back, I think I spent years starting over when I didn't even need to. I've wasted so many days where instead of just waiting for the next week, I could have used those days to, you know, spend it actually progressing, actually learning, actually moving forward with my life. I think the thing is, I wasn't failing. I was just trying to be perfect. The mistake wasn't just falling off track. The actual mistake was convincing myself that falling off track meant that the entire plan was over and I had to restart back again on Monday. So if you're someone who feels like they're constantly starting over, maybe you don't need a fresh start. Maybe you just need to pick up where you left off and keep going. It may be boring, it may not feel glamorous, and you may not even feel or see the progress that you are making. But that's usually how progress works. Progress takes time, and you got to be willing to keep putting in that work, no matter how you feel, no matter how you think, no matter even if you think it's a waste of time. You got to just keep pushing forward, and just one day, you will achieve that goal out of nowhere. It's not going to be some superhero type of transformation that happens overnight. It's showing up when you don't feel like it. It's doing the workout when you don't feel like it. It's getting back to work after a bad week. No matter how you feel, no matter how the mood is, you get back to work. It's all about continuing with the journey instead of constantly trying to stay fresh. Because at the end of the day, success isn't built by never falling off track or trying to be perfect. It's built by how many times are you willing to get back up after you've been knocked down so many times. And maybe that's what I've been learning this entire time. Not not trying to learn how to stop failing, but learn how to stop quitting every time I did fail. Thank you for watching.